The Red Baron, arguably one of the best pilots of all time. He served in the German Air Force in World War I. But who was he? Well, it all begins in Breslau, in the German Empire. The day is May 2nd, 1892. On this day, Manfred Albrecht Freiherr von Richthofen, also known in English as Baron von Richthofen, was born. When he was 4 years old, Manfred moved with his family to nearby Schweidnitz. He loved riding horses and hunting with his two brothers, Lothar and Bolko, as well as gymnastics. He was homeschooled till the age of 9, and then at the age of 11 he began cadet training at the Wahlstatt Military School. After completing cadet training in 1911, he joined a Ulan cavalry unit, the Ulanen Regiment Kaiser Alexander der Dritte von Russland Nummer 1 Westpreußisches, and became part of the regiment's 3rd Squadron. When World War I started, Richthofen served as a cavalry reconnaissance officer on both the eastern and western fronts. But since both sides decided that trench warfare was just the greatest idea, it rendered cavalry virtually useless, so his regiment was disassembled and the members were repositioned as dispatch runners and field telephone operators. Richthofen found his job more boring than anything you could do in Nebraska and applied for a transfer to Die Fliegertruppen des Deutschen Kaiserreiches, also known as the Luftstreitkräfte, and was accepted into it, stating in his application to join, "I have not gone to war in order to collect cheese and eggs, but for another purpose," and near the end of May he was transferred. From June to August 1915, Richthofen served as an observer for reconnaissance missions over the Eastern Front. In August, he was transferred to a flying unit in Ostend, a coastal city in Belgium. There he flew with a friend, George Zoimer, who would teach him to fly solo. At first, Richthofen was not good at flying, but he soon mastered flying and shot down an enemy pilot over the Battle of Verdun. However, this kill was not counted as it fell over enemy lines. Eventually, he received his first official kill, and in his autobiography it states, "I had honored the fallen enemy by placing a stone on his beautiful grave." He soon did this with every victory until he had over 60 cups, and with a dwindling silver he switched to base metal. Richthofen used the sun to his advantage, always making sure he was facing away from the sun, forcing the sun to be in his enemy's eyes, and would attack from above. On the 23rd of November, 1916, Richthofen shot down his most famous adversary, British ace Major Lionel Hawker V.C., described by Richthofen as the British Bulk, a famous German pilot at the time. Richthofen flew the celebrated Fokker DR-1 triplane in late July 1917, the distinctive three-winged aircraft which he is most famously associated with, although he didn't use it much until November of that year. It was also not the first plane he used that was red. The first red plane he used was Albatros D3 serial number 789-16, and which he first earned his name and reputation. Over the course of the war, Richthofen trained many pilots and sustained a few injuries, giving him hospital time to write his autobiography, named The Red Fighter Pilot. While flying, he was forced to make a forced landing in friendly territory, but the wounds he sustained would cause him to have post-flight nausea and headaches, as well as a change in temperament, which is a theory linked to causing his death. The Red Baron received a fatal wound just after 11 a.m. on the 21st of April, 1918, while flying over Morlancourt Ridge near the Somme River. He had been pursuing at very low altitude a Sopwith Camel piloted by Canadian Wilfred Reid May. May had just fired on the Red Baron's cousin, Lieutenant Wolfram von Richthofen. Seeing his cousin being attacked, Richthofen flew to his rescue and fired on May, causing him to pull away. Richthofen chased May across the Somme River. The Baron was spotted and briefly attacked by May's school friend and flight commander, Captain Arthur Brown. Richthofen dodged the attack and continued after May. It was during this final stage in his pursuit of May that a single .303 bullet hit Richthofen through the chest, fatally injuring him. It would have killed Richthofen in less than a minute. His aircraft stalled and went into a steep dive, hitting the ground in a field on a hill near the Bray-Corby Road, just north of the village of Valk-sur-Somme. The aircraft bounced heavily upon hitting the ground, the undercarriage collapsed, and the fuel tank was smashed before the aircraft skidded to a stop. Witnesses, including gunner George Ridgway, reached the crashed plane and found Richthofen already dead. The Red Baron had finally been killed. He was 25 years old. The Red Baron had a total of 80 confirmed kills, but the total number is unknown. He was buried on the 22nd of April, 1918, in a village churchyard near Amiens, France, but was moved to Wiesbaden, Germany in 1975. And yet, even in death, Snoopy still couldn't beat him.